Hello, this is Miss Sahar. Today we are gonna discuss chapter 4, Sister, Daughter and Wife. This chapter focuses mainly on Louisa as a sister, daughter and as a wife. So I'm gonna show you the dialogue between Louisa as a sister and her selfish brother Tom. Then Louisa and her practical father Gradgrind and his philosophy and his way of life that only focuses on facts and reasons. Finally, Louisa as a wife because she accepted Mr. Bounderby's proposal of marriage, the one who was 48 and Louisa was 15 years old only. Here we have the main theme, facts versus emotions and fancy.
Are you there, Lou?
Called her brother, looking round the door. Tom was now a tall young man, working at Bounderby's bank and living at Bounderby's house. Free of his parents at last, he now enjoyed all the pleasures which the town could offer a young gentleman. As sullen and selfish as he had always been, Tom continued to look after his only true interest, himself.
Dear Tom,
She answered, standing up and kissing him.
how long is it since you've been to see me?
Well, old Bounderby keeps me quite busy. But if he tries to push me too hard, I say, my sister Lou will be disappointed and hurt, Mr. Bounderby. She always used to tell me you would be easier with me than this. That one always works well with him. You do care about me, don't you, Lou?
He asked.
I do, Tom. Although you don't come to see me often enough.
Well, my dear sister, being together with you is so jolly. I'd like it if we could be together more, wouldn't you? If you decided to say yes to something, I know, Lou, it could happen.
My child, I must tell you that Mr. Bounderby has, for many years, been looking forward to the day when he could offer you his hand in marriage. And now this day has come.
There was silence between them. The hands of the clock moved heavily, and Mr. Gradgrind began to feel uncomfortable.
Father,
She said at last.
do you think I love Mr. Bounderby?
My dear, I really cannot say.
Father,
Continued Louisa in the same emotionless voice.
does Mr. Bounderby ask me to love him?
Well, my child, that is a difficult question. Perhaps because the word which you use is not a suitable one.
Which word should I use then?
Louisa, my dear, you are not one of these girls who fill their heads with stories and nonsense. You are a sensible, practical person. You should think about this question in the same way as any other question, by simply looking at the facts.
Father, I have often thought that life is short, and while I live, I wish to do what I can, although it is not much. So, as Mr. Bounderby asks me to marry him in this way, I accept his proposal. What does it matter?
Louisa, perhaps I ought to...
Parent.
You taught me so well, Father, that I've never had a child's heart, never felt a child's fear, or dreamed a child's dream.
What a model daughter, and so grateful for the success of her education. The proud father kissed his eldest child and took her to tell his wife the happy news. Mrs. Gradgrind kissed her daughter weakly and wished her a marriage with better health than her own. Sissy, working at Mrs. Gradgrind's side, looked wordlessly at Louisa. It was a look of many emotions, surprise, sadness, pity.